Activewear and technology brand known for its apparel, shoes, and accessories designed for sports and fitness.
If you join Under Armour, you're taking a spot and a seat at our table, because the fact is that we just came out with a new commitment that in the next 3 years, we're going to double our business again.
From the man who created a garment that you can sweat in, Audette Plank and his 10 rules of greatness.
At Under Armour, I believe that we've created a very strong culture, a culture that's first and foremost is built on people. You know, I'll tell you is that, you know, we've got, I believe, one of the strongest brands in the world and growing. You can't invent people that will do things like stay the extra day or an extra 3 or 4 hours at night and make sure that a shipment gets out, or driving things to BWI to make sure it gets FedExed out on time, or the kind of thing where, you know, our associates in the stores that'll work and open the door at night and help somebody out and say, how can I help you? What can I get for you? Or in customer service, how do we get something, you know, get a product replaced for you overnight? Like, you can't invent those kind of things. People have to feel it. And it's not a one-way ticket either. You know, it's a commitment that the teammate of ours has to the company, but it also needs to be the commitment that the company has to the teammate. And that basis of trust is that the teammate must understand that we want the best for them and that they want the best for us. And where we're truly leading a great global company, a great brand, a great culture of a great global brand, when we have people that builds that much trust with them.
You know, the best advice, one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got is, you know, a lot of people spend time in the attics and in the basements and holding on and saying, is now the right time? Is the market right? And look what's happening out there. And the best advice I ever got from someone that said, hey kid, find out if your product can sell. And before the lawyers and the patents and those things, and it's important, there's a time to do that, but you're not going to win the battle of public opinion in a courtroom. Find out if your product can sell. And if it can sell, do it faster and do it better than anybody else. And if you do that, at some level, you'll always be okay. I don't own the patent for tight, stretchy t-shirts, but we've taken that first launch product and we've evolved one chapter at a time, you know, beyond just a stretchy t-shirt into not tight fitting shirts, but into loose fitting shirts, into shorts, and then from men's into women's, and so on and so forth.
Trying to get to. And you have to hope that you have and ensure that you have the leadership in place that can make sure you're delivering on the values that you're espousing as a company, and that the mission is so targeted. So for us, you know, it's knowing who our consumer is. You know, we call our consumer the focused performer. And there's a definition that's a mile long, but it basically says it's not really a demo or an age or a gender, it's a mindset of the consumer. And so for us, understanding that and be able to define that sharp point for our product teams, for our marketing teams, that everyone, our supply chain teams even, so people know that if it's Under Armour, it's got to have stretch, it's got to have moisture management, like everything we do, it's what gives us our right to be. Our purpose is because every Under Armour product was put on this planet in order to make you better. And frankly, if we're doing our job, it defines them in some part. Leadership is required. It's in the word. It's to lead, and it's to lead by example, and it's to have and set a vision, and all those kind of things that you need. But it's to make sure that you never limit the idea or the opportunity. You know, what I find myself doing more often than not is ensuring that we have enough runway in front of us, ensuring that we are thinking about things big enough, because you can become complacent. Your job is to push your company, but it's not just to show up and say, I want 20% more. More importantly, you need to set an expectation and set a path and a vision that allows people to achieve that at the same time.
I was always smart enough to be naive enough to not know what we could not accomplish. I was always smart enough to be naive enough to not know what we could not accomplish. Why not us? Because anybody smart I talked to said, are you crazy? You're going to go against these behemoths in this industry? You know how big these other brands are, the guys out west, the guys in Germany? It's a dangerous category. The fact is I didn't care. All I knew is that I was going to make the world's greatest t-shirt. And it started out making the world's greatest t-shirt for football players that quickly grew to baseball players, lacrosse players, hockey players, on and on and on. Great product always wins, and we are fortunate to have that. Yeah, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. It will happen to you, and your plan will change. You don't have to brace for it either. Just be willing to accept it and go. because you're going to face adversity. So learn how to balance that uncertainty with your own ability to get back up and continue fighting no matter what adversity comes your way. Because it may very well be self-inflicted from a bad decision that you made, or direction, or even something out of your control like the economy. But whatever you do, don't sit around waiting for something to go wrong. Give it a shot, and you're the only one who needs to define what that it is for you. Be smart enough to be naive enough to not know what you can accomplish. And so I think the ability, number one, to communicate, and number two, to focus. Too often, I get pulled all the time of, what you guys should make is you should make one of these or make one of those, and why don't you do anything for pets, and how could you go there? Great brands are like great stories, and every great story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And our job is to make sure that every chapter of our stories makes sense to the one in front of it, and makes sense to the one after it.
Under Armour is first and foremost, it's about our people. And so the hardest thing that any organization has is getting the people right? And so I've been very fortunate because the first decision that I made was to hire my first partner, which was Kip Fulks, right? And getting Kip in, and then I trusted that, Kip would hire 2 great people, and then they would hire 3 great people. And on and on and on. Along the way, you get to establish and you get to build a culture. And, that's something that takes a long, long time to do. And it's something that you better be good at because you're never done, particularly in a growing company.
Speed and the ability to make fast decisions, smarts is something you never want to turn your back on. But if I had to choose, I would probably take speed, especially in starting a business and being an entrepreneur. And there's so many great ideas right now that are sitting in a basement or an attic where the entrepreneur is just timid or afraid to get out to market because they think it's not perfect, it's not right, it's not ready to go. And one thing you learn in business is that version 2 is always going to be better than version 1. You can say, I want to wait, I want to hold back, I'm just not ready. But to go and to move forward, and I've had to make decisions as a company that I didn't believe were always the perfect decisions, but I believe they were probably the best decisions for us as a company and us as a brand. And sometimes that better decision is just making a decision. I think we control our own destiny, and so whether David makes it or not has nothing to do with sort of the size or the might of Goliath. And if you're thinking like that, you'll probably always be able to find a reason and frankly an excuse and some lame answer as to why you can't win because the markets aren't good. I was in the middle of this and through 2000 and the first crash, and people are going, the market's terrible, market's terrible. I'm like, I'm selling stretchy t-shirts. It's not nothing to do with the financial crisis. It's like sports are going to be played and kids will wear it or they won't. And I think anybody you can look and find, but I challenge all of us to say, stop finding reasons to find and make excuses that we affectionately at Under Armour call loser talk. And I don't know, you've got to just will it and focus on making it happen.
Do you want to become a billionaire? Kevin Plank in Under Armour has achieved such a high level of success and is huge favorite amongst athletes. Do you want to adopt some of his behaviors to help become as successful as him? Would you like $1 billion? So tell me what rules you're going to adopt and how they're affecting your life. Leave it in the comments below and I'd love to hear about it. Here's to your success.